Way back in England, the lady did dwell. Way back in England, lady did dwell. Her name was Pretty Polly, boys, I loved her so well. Hey everybody, that's a little bit of music that was inspired by our friend Justin, who recently posted in our community section a nice little tab that he wrote of Pretty Polly, which I showed y'all in a video. We did a whole little short series of lessons and close-ups on that. But so Justin took the way that I showed y'all to play Pretty Polly out of G modal tuning, which is where I am now relatively. And he did a real simplified, basic tab to it. And Justin, I like your tab. That's good. That's the kind of tab I like. Basic. It's tablature, you know, nice skeleton tab, you know, real simple. Because then, if you just give people the bare bones with a tablature like that, I think, the way you did it, I think people will pick up on that a lot quicker. Because all they need to see is the basic, where to put your left hand, the basic notation. And then people should be working in their own minimal, subtle embellishments as they go, and working up their own versions of these old tunes. So Justin, great job. Thank you very much for sharing that. And you really stirred my interest because in these, 18, 20 years that I've been playing that song, I don't know that I've ever tried to play it in the overhand clawhammer style before, like you did it. So that was really fun for me to try to work up a different way to do it. And so I noticed in your tab what you're doing to, like what I do as like the rolling background in that song with my two-finger picking. So I'm doing like a repetitive drop thumb with my two-finger picking there to get that background flavor to the song. And so what you were doing in your tab was basically just a repetitive hammer-on. Something like that. And that's actually pretty cool. You keep working on that if you like that. The way I would do it, and you saw me just do it, is instead of doing repetitive hammer-ons, what's more intuitive to a rolling sound is a repetitive pull-off. And also, let's do the old Knott County lick style, the open string, the repetitive open string pull-off that we've discussed so many times. Like, what if we just repetitively did a pull-off on the second string at the second fret as we repeatedly hit the third string open. Well, that might work. It sounds a little sour to my ear. So what I wound up working out was I'd put my index finger on the second string at the second fret, and I take my ring finger and put it on the first string at the third fret. And I get that little Pretty Polly chord. So what I'm doing is I'm repeatedly playing the third string open in this holding this shape pattern with my left hand. And I'm doing my repetitive open string pull off on the first string using my ring finger. You see that? cool. I wonder if I might start playing it more like that. That's really neat. So thank you, Justin, for posting that tab. I would love to see some more of you guys who are into tabs throw up some stuff like that. I prefer if you keep it simple so that people will come up with their own embellishments and you get more variety that way. But if you guys want to put up a tab that's more complex and more detailed and stuff, that's fine too. I'd like to see anything that anybody wants to share over in that community section. That's great. Let's see. This is sort of a Q&A, even though it's that was almost a lesson. But we had a question come in from Louie, and Louie's been one of our high contributing members here, and so here's a good question from Louie that I'll see if I can respond to. He says, I got a question for you. Do you think it's better to learn 2 to 3 tunes at a time and try to master, or what? Because I keep going on trying new stuff and then forgetting the tunes that I already used to play and then having to relearn them. So Louie's basically asking, is it better to try to learn 2, 3, or 4 different songs or pieces of music at once? Or should you just focus on one? It sounds like the trouble you're having, Louie, is you're like, okay, I learned that one. Now I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do this other one, and then a third one, and a fourth one, and then you wake up the next day and you forgot everything that you figured out. So yeah. So I would say, Louie, you are moving a little too fast. It sounds like I can tell that you're an active guy and you're playing a lot and you're watching and learning a lot right now, and that's great. And I would encourage you to keep doing that. But when I was a up and coming banjo player, been playing maybe 5 years or so, or even less, maybe 3 years, like a teenager, somebody definitely told me one time, they gave me some good advice, and they told me to take my time. They didn't say slow down or anything like that. They just said take your time. Okay, so think about that, Louie. So you're maybe 2 or 3 tunes at a time is maybe too many, but you could probably handle 2 pieces of music at a time. Sounds like you might learn one and then you're tired of it, so learn another one. But instead of moving on to a third after you've learned that second one, maybe go back and play that first tune again. The way I'll be, and I know that a lot of other musicians are this way, is I have a repertoire of, 100 songs or something that I don't even know. Lots and lots of songs that I could play at any given moment. But during the course of maybe a 30-day period, I've only got a handful of songs that I'm usually really focusing on. I might have 5 or 6 songs in a given 2-week period that I'm playing those same 5 or 6 songs over and over again, sort of maybe if there was 6 CDs on a disc changer or something. I'm going through those same ones for a couple weeks, and then I'll get tired of them and something will bring me on to something else. So that's my advice to you, Louie. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe keep it limited to 2 pieces of music at a time, and take your time. And I believe also Fred McDowell famously said that on a recording where he was playing with a couple of younger white rock musicians over in Europe, I guess, and he was playing some dark, jukey, slow, bluesy number, and these young white musicians, a drummer and a bass player, were backing him up, and they were getting a little ahead of him, getting a little too pumped up, and you can hear Fred going take your time, slow down, so take your time.